Country is one of the biome mods, most legendary, and those with the most variety. In its history, counting with more than 90 different. Although with the passage of time, some of these were removed. And even if you don't believe it, this was always ahead of Mohawk, having previously had its own version of the bamboo jungle, or even more recently, cherry blossom forests. But in this video only, we will take into account all the biomes we will have until 1.21. The most up-to-date to date. Rating all your biomes, from worst to best. And to be able to do it, I took the task of recording all, and each one of them, in addition to creating your own tier list.
No puedo respirar. ¿Qué le está pasando a mi cuerpo?
Taking into account multiple sections such as the appearance of the biome, variety of materials, and new things that this will be bringing us. Before starting this enormous journey, I remind you that you can help me a lot by leaving your like and subscription. Since lately, the algorithm is not benefiting us much. So, without anything else to say, now let's go for the video. Starting from the bottom, we will have questions categorized as unnecessary. That only. They are there to fill. That really do not contribute. Absolutely none. And another similar biome could easily take its place. And that even if tomorrow were eliminated, surely no one would miss them. As well as a certain person who taxed video games in Mexico. First, we will have the gravel beach. As its name says, this is a variant of the beaches, which will instead be composed only by gravel. Yes, what a surprise. Will not have absolutely nothing of value here, if anything. From time to time, some abandoned shipwrecks will appear. But apart from this biome will not contribute anything else. And even its size, it's not even something significant to be able to record. And speaking of, in the next position we will have the cold desert. And this is about nothing more, nothing less than a variant of the equally deserts. Made up of pure gravel blocks, the biome will be practically empty, without having something truly of value or that contributes to your world. If anything, the most striking thing, there will be some herbs, dead ones that will grow on gravel blocks, and powder snow. But again, you can find this easily in other biomes. Similar, I would really like to know what kind of person would dare to create a house. In this place, south of land is a mountain variant, which will be mostly made up by blocks of grass and almost no vegetation. The only thing striking and characteristic of this biome will be the generation of mossy rock. Although they will be generated, some animals is not a good option at the time of living, since they will not be generated naturally. No type of tree. The moors will be large mountainous terrains, with a slightly vegetation coloration, darker, formed mainly by grass blocks and little grass. Violets will be generated instead, in large quantities, in addition to some small bushes. And being a high-altitude terrain, one of the best additions that will be bringing you. It is way. Number one, we will have the lush desert, which is a biome of type, mostly savanna, formed by the new sand and orange sandstone. Just like normal sand, it will have its respective decorative variants. But the thing does not end here. It will be common to seagoats. Well, in addition to this, we will have a lot of vegetation and shrubs, acacia trees, and the palm trees. That will give us a new type. Wooden, which will have a coloration between the oak wood and jungle. And well, in this place, normal animals will not be in this place. Yes, it will be the armadillo's favorite place, which may appear thus be one of the most complete biomes. And that surely, in some future, yes, we can have an original Minecraft. I wouldn't even see it as far-fetched. That somehow can add both ostriches, like meerkats, an excellent option. And well, this was a huge tour that I hope never having to do it again. Not because I haven't had it. Well, but because this type of videos, they are very difficult to make. But if you wanted to see me suffer with more videos like these, you can give me the energy and power needed with your like and your subscription. If you like mountainous terrain, come on, it's totally free, more than 5 seconds. Plus you can tell me what your top 5 best would be. Biomes or even the one that you would like more than Minecraft. Add it in the next one. Update. I'll be reading in the comments. And well guys, I hope you liked it. But sadly in this video, that they had fun. That's the best important to me. If you liked the video, I would ask you to please leave your like. You will comment what you thought of this video. What other types of videos would you like to see on the channel? Subscribe because that is very important. Remember that though. Allays are better than the copper golem. And see you in the next video. There are much better options. Ciao. Continuing, we will have the leafy savanna. A very peculiar place full of vegetation. Mainly roses and poppies. Which would be its only striking feature. Well, far from surprising you the first time you see it. Over time, this will lose its charm. Well, although animals are able to feed yourself, when you look for wood sources, you won't be able to find any, since the only vegetation that will grow, they are simply red flowers, and that is. Come on, who wouldn't come back? Crazy with so much red color. The bushland, it will be a flat, treeless savanna-type biome. Only. Having some adobe mounds and bush scattered that will adorn the biome. There will be nothing special about it, except for purple wildflowers, being practically a replacement for the plains. But with the coloration of a savanna biome, overgrown green. It is a plain type biome, with huge shoots of grass that will cover the earth, making it difficult for you to move around this place. And this will have a blue coloration, greenish in the blocks of grass and other plants. In addition, they can be generated giant clovers. Beyond this, you will not have nothing flashy or interesting. Plus, the tall grass makes it a place that is too annoying, and that you will want to avoid at the moment of seeing it. Dune beach. It will be a variant with large amounts of vegetation. In this case, a new ornamental grass called Costa, a pretty pale colored plant, which will give a unique touch to this type of beach. But apart from this, there will be nothing remarkable. Well, it is practically an ordinary beach. And even for some people, this can be annoying. Also, of course, when it comes to from a beach, these usually do not be too big. The biome, it will be a type of swamp biome with large willow trees. These coming accompanied by the new span. And as you can imagine, we will have a new type of wood. The biome itself will have nothing too much. Striking beyond the willow trees. For his misfortune, he was completely overshadowed after the arrival of the mangrove biome, which is practically the same but much better. So I only see 2 options. Or improve this biome in some way, adding new things. Or unfortunately, it should be eliminated. With this, we close the biomes of the category necessary, making way for those who will only be bad, but with a small could even be considered good. So put on your seatbelts at once, that we are leaving for the next destination. Our next stop will be a variant of the taiga biomes normally located near other snowy biomes, just because this will be a dry and cold place with very little vegetation, counting with the red coloration of trees and plants. In this place we will not find absolutely nothing new of value, and even it will be a little more complicated. This is due to its small quantity of wood and no food, then only wolves will be generated. The plain alluvial will be a jungle-type biome that it will be composed of lagoons. Its main attraction will be its new variant, giant water lily and lily. A type of flower capable of being put direct, sadly, over the water. This one won't have anything that really makes it stand out from other biomes. That and the fact that neither it will be too common. Find it in our world by doing. Making this type of biomes, at least for me, it passed without pain. It is glory. The lavender field is a biome type. Plain that will be mostly flat. Already, at first glance, one will realize the enormous amount of lavender that will populate these lands. In this biome, creatures like pigs will spawn, cows and horses. And its main attraction will be the jacaranda trees, which will leave your wood with a striking white coloration. Very similar to the wood of the pale garden, although this one will be a little brighter, with other designs on doors and trapdoors. Although it is a biome that contributes a lot, sadly, there is another one that is much better than this. The scrubland is a biome type, plain with a mostly dull appearance, populated by oak bushes and some various plants such as lilacs. In addition, no trees will be generated. The only source of wood will be the bush themselves. Being very complicated, start your adventure in this curiously place. We will also have another variant of this biome. Rocky scrubland that itself will not change much, just adding some stone formations. In addition to the appearance of flames naturally, the plain volcanic is a type of biome, plain which will be composed mostly of the new black sand, with which, just like normal sand, we can create different decorative blocks. In this biome, there will be no only a few oak bush and a sparse amount of grass. Being a relatively dead biome, generation will be impossible of any type of animal. The field will be a beautiful biome type, taiga that will closely resemble a plant, only taking a coloration, bluish in the grass blocks and the trees. Its main peculiarity, it will be its large quantity and variety of plants. In addition, it will be very inhabiting this place, as well as pigs, possibly sheep, one of the best options to be able to live. As extra data, there will be a variant of this so-called wooded field, being practically the same, but much more populated by fir trees. The peepah. It will be a new variant of the taiga biomes, with the characteristic of not counting with any type of tree, but with much more variety. All this with an autumnal appearance. Here we will find, instead of grass, brown bushes, in addition to small shoots, varied from different trees and woods, such as maples, pines, being a very good place to live and collect various objects. Now, we come to the normal category, where things start to improve with biomes that can now be considered gooder improvements from other existing ones that somehow something doesn't quite fit. Or directly, there are others, biomes that do the same thing but much better. Forest biome. It will be a new variant of the same name, having a coloration a little more yellowish and shiny. Among others, small details like fallen logs covered with moss, and more vegetation. In addition, in this, only oak trees can be generated as data. Extra, we will have a variant of this biome with the name. Primary forest will be practically the same, but with many more trees. The meadow. This is a new variant of the biome zone, plain with pale yellowish vegetation where we will find a very good variety of flowers, as well as some rather unusual trees. In this biome, it will be common. Find log blocks and a new type of plant with the name of goldenrod. In this place, you will have practically everything you need to survive, because even animals will abound in this biome. The marsh biome. It is a variant of the swamps, much cleaner. And no trees in sight, practically. As if it were a mixture between a plain and a swamp, although with some gaps that will make it difficult to move freely. Even the generation of will also be possible, which houses and other than that it will not have. Nothing new interesting. The garden biome. It will be one more of the forest variants, with some small ones. Differences that will distinguish it from this one. For example, a coloration. Bright yellowish on its leaves and grass blocks. Also, it will be much more common. Find oak trees with flowering leaves. It is that as a fact. This biome is curious. Was the main producer of apple trees. Sadly, this type of tree would have been eliminated due to obtaining these. That would be too easy. So, when removing this very unique feature, left this biome without anything so special to offer. But it will still return one of the best options to be able to live. The forest created will be a woodland biome, where fir and maple trees will predominate, which will be practical. Oak trees but with red leaves. In the biome itself, a good number of animals such as sheep will be generated, pigs and cows. In addition to the fact that on the ground, you will find some clumps of red leaves. And of course, it will also be one of the few biomes lucky to have a snowy version. The next biome will be the Aurora Garden, a winter-type biome, and will be a variant of the birch forest. In this, we will find a variant, much more colorful and bright, trees that, depending on the placement of its blocks, their leaves will be different too. There will be other details, interesting as its leaves will be able to emit light. Besides that, these have a layer of snow on top. Its color will light. Regarding the biomass, the grass blocks, they will be much paler and have a bluish coloration between some bush and plants that will complement your grassland landscape. It will be a variant of the plains biome, but with a strange characteristic that here only barley will grow. A new type of plant. Decorative, very similar to wheat, but with the plus to be able to be placed on normal dirt blocks. Despite being a very simple biome, this turns out to be one of the favorites by many players, especially for the incredible with the disadvantage trees will not any other source of wood. Hell erupting. It will be another biome of the new mostly made up of by sulfur blocks, which will be yellow. And we will have more variants like sulfur clusters and geysers, which will do absolutely nothing. And we can simply use it as mere decoration. A fairly simple biome, but it will provide very good variety. The language of the wasteland will be a new where instead of being the typical sand formation composed of the new dry salt block, will not have absolutely nothing of value other than this block in abundance. We will not have any generation of animals either, nor of any other kind of creatures. Other additions will be the scarce vegetation of withered lilac and dead trees. Although equally, if you come to this biome only for them, there are many better options as an extra fact. When you are inside the biome, the coloration of the environment will change to a much more color, yellowish and dull. Continuing with the next biome, we will have a withered abyss, one of the most complicated places and dangerous of the nether. Well, in this one, we will have a much more limited vision, only being able to see blocks of black color, such as blackstone, and obsidian, in addition to other small details such as blackstone spikes and bulbs, which will generate a very small amount of light. It will be common here. Find so much Enderman as the dangerous with their skeletons that if you are not very attentive, it will be very difficult to know when one of these be close to you. One of the biomes more imaginative than that, without a doubt. It would be great to see something like this in Minecraft. The Snowflower Grove. It's basically a recolor of the flower forest of cherry trees added in the 1.0 update, practically being the same in every aspect. Only this will be a winter type biome, and both the leaves of the trees, like the flowers that are on the ground, they will be white. Unfortunately, we will not have new materials in addition to them. Shoots from the trees themselves, snow flowers. And we are going. You won't deny that having some cherry blossoms, white wouldn't be pretty cool. The next stop we will have will be the summit. Crystal clear. where not many enemies
this
are
may
usually
be
delighting in this place, thanks to the clusters and blocks of rose quartz. Unfortunately, this new mineral will not have too many functions. Only use some of its fragments for some armor. And although we will not have new materials, in addition to this rose quartz, it will be one of the biomes that visually seem more incredible. Our next stop is the volcano biome, which will be mountainous and rarely will appear in our world, with the characteristic of having an atmosphere, extinguished, and small particles of ash flying through the air. This will be practical, made up of blocks of basalt and black, in addition to great lava lakes that will cover the biome. For obvious reasons, the generation of life in this place it will be practically zero. This applies to both plants and animals. A foraging-only biome, populated by birch trees with yellow leaves. This autumnal-looking biome will have some details, showy like fallen trunks with mushrooms, and the new ones like those with yellow leaves, in addition to other new plants such as barley. But apart from this, it will not have anything about. Another colorful biome, although equally useful for its large quantities of wood. And now, we move on to rarest and strangest to find. We are talking about the Valley of Origin, which, in most cases, it will be completely isolated from other biomes, very similar to the case of the Mushroom Islands. This will look like the first biome in Minecraft. That's where its name comes from, which will have a bright and gaudy coloration that will give you a powerful air of nostalgia at the moment of stepping these ancient lands. Here we will find different types of materials such as trees and earth, and even the classic rose design. This was before they eventually became the poppies. As extra data, there will be another variant of this, much stranger, but it will be snowy weather. The next biome we will look at is called, and corrupt in this strange place we will have a mysterious one, fogged with primary numbers, appearing as if they were particles. But this will not be even close to the strangest. Well, apart from this, we will have some materials with a corrupt appearance, while others will generate some object, infinitely random. Being in this place here will give a very disturbing feeling, and that surely someone who sees it for the first time feel that your Minecraft ended up being corrupted. With this, we've finished the normal category, and where we will now find biomes that are truly good, with something unique and special that sets them apart from the rest, and that even to be added to vanilla Minecraft. That is, with their respective changes and improvements, to be able to adapt. Crags are a new type of mountain biome, with the feature of counting, with different blocks of moss, differentiating itself from other formations. That only. They will have stone blocks or be covered in being snow. A very interesting concept. But in the end, it will not bring nothing to new or innovative, but that doesn't take away from the merit of being one of the mountain types. More beautiful, and above all, makes it more valuable. Having a natural source of moss. The end. Wilds are a kind of golden colored forest, and pale yellow that will be generated in the end, where we will find the new imperial trees, with a strange purple colored wood. And that obviously will have its different decoration variants, just like new and shiny. Vegetation such as luminous being practically a paradise. Within such a desolate dimension, the wetland, it will be a swamp-type biome, which will have a greater amount of vegetation, combining both willow and fir trees, this being practically the perfect between mix. A mangrove and a swamp. Well, here we will find a great diversity of plants, like animals, from pigs to frogs and even foxes. Another point in favor of this is that your land will be mostly flat, allowing you to build without so much complication, being, at least for me, the best option if you want to live somewhere. Swamp biome. The dead forest. It will be a dull, yellowish biome where they don't usually. Animals are generated. All that there will be. It will be a sad landscape with dry trees, little grass and dead bushes. The most striking thing and possibly the only salvageable thing from this biome will be its abundant amount of deadwood, which will have a grayish tone as well. We will have a variant of this. Called dead primary forest, it will be practically the same. But with more trees, jade cliffs are a mountain type large trees and abundant vegetation, mainly pine needle shrubs. In addition, it will have with its own tree with a new type of wood, which will have a striking green coloration. Something that will undoubtedly give this biome many points. It is that naturally both pandas and goats can be generated. In addition to a strange coloration in the sky and greenish-gray environment. The coniferous forest. It is a taiga-type biome with abundant resources like the new ones. White fir trees, whose wood will have a coloration grayish-brown. Not to mention the enormous quantity of wood that you can get with just cut down one of these. In this one, you will also find various animals such as wolves, pigs, cows, and occasionally some villages. And like other types of forests, this will also count with its respective snowy variant. Hot springs will be one of the biomes, strangers. But at the same time, fascinating features of this mod. Well, this will be composed of two areas. On the one hand, we will have a species, taiga forest, with a blue-green coloration, and with new pine trees. These are giving us a new type of greenish wood. While in the second part, we will have the craters, which will be composed of calcite and basalt. In addition to a new thermal calcite, one of the rarest blocks in the entire mod. Because this one will react differently upon contact with water, generating bubbles and steam particles. And just in case, a little depending on how close you are to a water source, this will turn a yellowish color to a deep orange. The end reef is one of the most subdued biomes and grays that we can find in. This will have the appearance of being on a seabed, totally dead with barely some pools of water and full of deaths of all kinds. This together with barnacles and a pale white sandstone, giving it an incredible ghostly atmosphere. And just in case, we will also have little, as an ambience, some dust particles floating in the air besides ghost jellyfish, which will be made of a new type of intangible block. Being so, at least in my opinion, one of the most creative and striking biomes of the entire mod. The redwood forest is a biome of taiga. Taiga with huge sequoia trees, which will contain a huge amount of redwood. Very similar to mangrove wood, although slightly more colorful. Most of its soil, it will be made of puzzle blocks. But occasionally, we will find blocks of muscal. Something striking and even a certain unique point in this biome is that its terrain will be very, at least from what I was looking for, they are not generating too many creatures. If I had to choose a forest of trees, giants would undoubtedly be this one. The lands. Arid will be a biome that surprises. It will be of a desert type. This will have a dull and grayish atmosphere included in the vegetation, despite its name in this place. We will find a good variety of resources and plants, like oak trees, dry dead bush, and a small cacti. A new plant variant, which will have the same properties, and a bush of fences. The most representative of this biome will be their enormous fossils or animal remains that will emerge from the ground. Very similar to the soul sand biome that belongs to the nether. An excellent changing biome. Almost every aspect. And combines both forest and desert biomes. Mediterranean forests. It is possibly one of the forest variants, most complete and visually striking of all. Well, in this case, it will be fine dark oak and spruce trees, while the coloring of the grass will be slightly yellowish and brighter. A good variety of flowers and plants. In addition, in some areas of the water, calcite will replace sand. All this together makes it one of the most beautiful biomes from all over the world. Oh, and if that weren't enough, in this biome, there will also be a possibility that villages are generated, continuing the jacaranda forest type biome, with a good diversity of trees, especially jacaranda trees. Obviously, that's well as other versions such as oak trees, flowering and small cherry blossoms, giving much more life to this biome, which will have Other small details such as jack-granite trunks. Without a doubt, one of the best of forest-type biomes. The next biome we will have is the tropics, which appears to be a combination between beach and jungle biome, being visually one of the most beautiful and special for their striking selection of plants. The main one. A feature of this place is that it will have, with an atmosphere, much brighter and large palm trees in very generous quantities, in addition to other types of vegetation such as bamboo shoots and small trees of jungle with cocoa shoots, watermelons, and beautiful blocks of white sand that will surround the islands, something that will undoubtedly give it a more special touch to this normal biome that this be one of the rarest and hardest to find places. And surely if you had the opportunity, this would be one of your first options to be able to create your home. And now moving on to a colorful place, to one with little more. Dark, we will have the spider's nest, which will be a new type of cave that you will rarely find in your explorations. In this we will find a land infested by networks, and especially spider cocoons. These will remain dormant and inactive, unless some player dare to break them, thus generating a terrible cave spider. Yes, well, this little one. Biome will not add too many things to setting fits perfectly. In the original game, the infraflora will be one of the biomes. Most curious but dangerous of the nether. Like small bush, creepers of bramble that will hurt you with the slightest contact, and the new trees. Hellish that is already, you can imagine, will have their own coloring. In this case, being black in color like all its variants, decorative. Besides, of course, the new and dangerous burning flower, capable of set ablaze the creatures that dare to touch it. A mechanic that, the truth would have been great, that had the flower, torch which does not have no torch, in addition to its appearance. And if that were not enough in this biome, a large number of hoglins will also be generated. The Shining Grotto, it will be another of the few biomes that will improve the caves. In this we will meet the luminous mushroom, as well as new variants of moss, silkworm slime, hanging from the ceiling blocks, like mud blocks. And although they would only be small additions, we would certainly be pleased if something like this were added to the base game. And now continuing with the theme of we will have the sinister forest, which will be a kind of dark and gloomy biome, with a dull atmosphere surrounding it, as well as it will be one of the rarest biomes to find several unique objects such as shady trees themselves. That will lead to a new type of art, like some dead bush, in a dispersed manner. In this biome, wolves will appear, what will return. This much stranger biome, if already the appearance of the illusionist, one of the strangest variants of the Alagers, and that will even be able, in addition to the natural generation of wither roses and the bramble, a new type of plant very similar to cacti. Continuing with the next biome, we will have the fungal jungle.
¡Pero qué ven mis oídos, mano! ¡No lo puedo creer!
A striking and colorful tropical biome with an atmosphere, bright yellow color that will give you a unique atmosphere. We will find a lot of vegetation, mainly shrubs and mushrooms, and where even from time to time, we will find some clusters of classic Minecraft mushrooms, the main attraction of the biome. They will obviously be their enormous mushrooms. Poison is sprouting from the ground, being an incredible sight to behold. Sadly, in this biome, due to the large amount of poisonous mushrooms, will not be able to kind of normal creatures, like sheep, cows, or pigs, but a large number of white frogs. And unless Moham, he decides to stick his frog legs in, for the moment you won't be able to feed on them. So, if you plan, live in this place, you know that the food, there will be quite a shortage. I know it's been a long journey we've had, but every great journey has its end, and we have finally reached the update category. The 5 best biomes in the entire mod that are so good that not only I would like them to be added to Minecraft, but they even deserve their own update. And here I have to be honest with you. It took me a long time. Order them from worst to best. Well, they all stand out in something different, like its setting, variety of materials, or that its simple appearance would greatly improve the game. Let's see. Wait a minute, that's a creeper. At this time of year, at this time of day in this part of the world, located specifically in your kitchen. And no, wait, don't come any closer. No, it's already gone. Well, at least it seems the airship held up pretty well while I fix it. Let me quickly recommend you the best way to create your Minecraft because server. Yes, I am recording this video within the Olimpo hosting servers. One of the best services for creating your Minecraft server, for both Java and Bedrock. But the best of all, at the time of easy understanding, both for installing mods, plugins, and even mod packs, among other incredible functions such as uploading and download worlds. And all this you will be able to get it with up to 20% with the code 20. I will be leaving you the link in the description, along with this YouTube channel, in case you need any extra tutorial. Well, I think this thing is more than ready. So let's hurry up so we have travel to the biomes. So, well, we'll see each other. The seasonal forest will be one of the biomes. More colorful and unique that this mod will have. Well, as soon as you enter, we will have a change in color in the grass, turning to a yellowish color typical of autumn in this. We will find the 3 variants of maple trees. The yellow one, orange, and red. Although its wood will still be the same, by biome it will be common to find such as classic leaf and animal clusters, like pigs and cows, as extra data. There will be another variant of this called pumpkin field, which in essence will be the same, only that it will have many fewer trees and will be mostly populated by giant pumpkins. The next biome is the rainforest, a variant of the jungle biome, which, at least in my opinion, it is much better achieved. Well, to start and the biome, finish in the position will be mainly made up of for the new mahogany trees, having a more than acceptable size and with a very good amount of wood, which will have a nice coloration. Purple, pale taken off the rose. In addition, we will also find other types of vegetation, like the classic jungle trees with shoots of cocoa, watermelons, and if that were not enough, it will also have another variant, rocky mountain type, where it will be common. The generation of different clay blocks, making this biome one of the most valuable in terms of materials. The mystical grove. It will be a magical and colorful forest-like place. Practically everything within this biome, from the water that will now have blocks of grass and trees that will now pass, to have a blue coloration, even some animals like wolves in this place. We will find a lot of new materials, like flowers, luminous, and the new magic wood, which will have a nice blue color, even with its respective variants. On the other hand, no creatures will spawn in this biome, hostile or passive. And very rarely will it be the natural home of the Alays, without a doubt one of the best biomes to live in. Now, moving on to the nether dimension, we will have the visceral cluster. This is one of the strangest and most unusual biomes, twisted not only from the nether, but also of our world. Well, everything here. It will be made up mostly of meat, tendons, and blood, giving you the feeling of walking inside a living being, much bigger than you. And they left nothing to the imagination. Some meat pores, they will have the ability to release pus bubbles. But if I had to keep something from this biome, it would certainly be the blood. Well, this will have the incredible capacity to put out the fire and the lava inside of that.